Good evening and welcome to the Coon Rapids City Council meeting for Tuesday, March 1st, 2022. If you could please rise and join us for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please call the roll.
Councilmember Kraskowiak.
Here.
Councilmember Ray Rauer.
Here.
Councilmember Hernandez Jr.
Here.
Councilmember Geisler. Councilmember Johnson.
Here.
Councilmember Carlson.
Here.
Mayor Cook.
Here.
One absent, Geisler.
Thank you. All right, we're up to, we should probably adopt the agenda before we move on.
Mayor,
Councilmember Carlson,
motion to adopt the agenda?
Second.
motion by Carlson, second by Ray Rauer to adopt the agenda. Any changes or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the agenda is adopted. We are up to approving the minutes from our February 15th meeting.
I'll move to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
Motion by Johnson, second by Hernandez Jr. to approve the minutes of the February 15th, 2022 City Council meeting. Any discussion or corrections? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And those minutes are approved. We have 4 items on our consent agenda this evening. The first one is to receive the 2021 year-end gambling expenditure report. The staff has received and reviewed the semi-annual reports for July 1st through December 31st, 2021, showing gambling expenditures within the city of Coon Rapids and trade area for the 7 organizations at 16 locations. The combined net profit this period was reported at $1,160,312.86, with expenditures within the trade area, which includes City of Coon Rapids, reported at $675,495.24. The reported expenditures specifically within the City of Coon Rapids for this period was $618,345.23. The total combined net profit for all of 2021 was reported at $2,412,201.72, with expenditures within the trade area, which includes the City of Coon Rapids, at $1,645,691.37. The reported expenditures specifically within the City of Coon Rapids for the year was $1,562,004.31. All organizations achieved the 60% expenditure requirement within the trade area for the year, with the exception of the Coon Rapids Mad Bandits organization. A notice has been sent to the organization outlining the code requirements. Part of our consent agenda will be to receive the gambling expenditure report for 2021. Next item on our consent agenda is to receive the Lawful gambling report and authorize payment to Community Strength Foundation. The city collects 5% of all lawful gambling revenue generated within the city. The city council has agreed to disperse 90% of the charitable gambling revenue the city collects to the Community Strength Foundation in 2021. The total lawful gambling contributions to the city equaled $121,147.74, making the 90% contribution equal to $109,032.97. The 2021 cumulative fund balance for the amount the city retains from lawful gambling is currently $20,280.33, as authorized by state statute. These funds may be used for projects deemed appropriate by council. So this action, we're looking to accept the 2021 5% lawful gambling payments report and authorize the expenditure of $109,032.97 to the Community Strength Foundation. I guess it should be noted at this point that the Community Strength Foundation is what the funding mechanism for our concerts in the park, for our fireworks, for many, many community events.
Right.
Next item 4 on our agenda this evening is to set a public hearing date for miscellaneous assessments 2022-1. The city council must set a public hearing as required by state statutes. At that hearing, the city council may refer appellants to the Board of Adjustment and Appeals. That is what we do, correct? The Board of Adjustment and Appeals will then give their recommendation. The Board of Adjustment and Appeals is expected to conduct this hearing on May 5th and make a recommendation to the city council at the May 17th meeting. Staff will include information on the process in the required mailing to the property owner. These assessments include services provided to taxpayers, in most cases, code enforcement violations. The terms of repayment are determined by the amount being assessed, and the proposed assessments are categorized by the number of years to be assessed and the interest rate recommended. So we're looking to adopt Resolution 22-37, miscellaneous assessment, declaring the cost to be assessed, ordering preparation of the proposed assessment roll, and ordering the public hearing for March 22nd, 2022 on the proposed assessment roll. Item 5 on our agenda this evening, which is actually the last item on our consent agenda, is to approve nominations to the Coon Creek Watershed District Board of Managers. It has been requested by Anoka County that the City Council consider nominations for appointment to the Coon Creek Watershed District Board of Managers. Staff advertised the opportunity on the city's website and by other means and received 5 letters of interest. I think that's our highest, it's like our high point, isn't it? 5?
We had 6 last year, but 5's a really good number.
That is it, yeah. Yeah, because we need to have 3, so. The 5 candidates include Jill Bjorn, William Gallup, maybe, Mary Campbell, Brian Armstrong, and Gary Olson. All the candidates are Coon Rapids residents interested in serving on this board, and a summary of the candidates is attached. The Anoka County Board of Commissioners is the entity responsible for the appointment of these positions. However, the City Council may make recommendations for the Anoka County Board to consider. The letter attached to this memorandum provides an explanation of the nomination and appointment process. So we're looking to we are looking to nominate the 5 stated candidates to the Anoka County Board for consideration of appointment to the Coon Creek Watershed District Board of Managers. So that's our recommendation to them.
Your Honor,
Councilmember Raybauer,
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
motion by Raybauer, second by Carlson. Discussion or questions on this?
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Johnson?
I really appreciate the citizens of Coon Rapids who decided to put their names in for serving on the Coon Creek Watershed District Board of Managers. I served on that board for about 4 years before going on the city council. It's a very good organization. One thing it's missing right now, though, is a Coon Rapids resident on the board. And so I think it's reflective, and sometimes in the past, you would have an incumbent that's on the board that would reach back out to the cities and ask to be renominated, and we didn't get that from any incumbent on the board. So I think it would be nice to have our county board appoint from among the 5 nominees that we send in. There's some good candidates there. And I would just ask city staff to make sure that they fill out the application for the county. Because even though we had an application process for nominees and for them to express an interest, they still have to follow through and fill out the application process to be considered by the county, if nominated.
Mr. Stemmetal?
Yes, Mayor and Council, to that point, after Council affirms those nominations tonight, tomorrow I'll follow up with each of the candidates with the information on how to fill out that online form for Anoka County. In addition to our nominations, other cities are likely forming lists as well, and the county board would have the opportunity to choose a name off of any of those lists. The process itself is a little complicated, but it's really important that we do submit a list every year so that candidates from Coon Rapids are considered each time.
Yeah, and I really am thankful that they filled out the applications, and I just implore that they stay patient as
Yes.
well, because we haven't had a great track record of getting any of these recommendations through, but eventually, it's gonna happen. Eventually, one of them is gonna go through. All right. Maybe
I think I was the last one from Coon Rapids that was on there, so maybe.
Did you ruin it for us?
Maybe, no, it was
No, they're
Mr.
not gonna let us do it anymore?
It was Mr. Bromley right after me. So,
All right, okay.
yeah, there you go.
All right, so on our consent agenda, we have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion or questions? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion carries. We are up to item 6, which is to consider resolution 22-3 sub 9, awarding the contract for 105th Avenue, Hanson Boulevard Mill and Overlay. Mr. Hemmer, I don't think I've ever seen bids that tight. You could throw a blanket over the top 6 bids there.
Yes, that is correct, Mr. Mayor, Council. We had a lot of activity and a lot of interest. It just goes to the schedule where we try to get it out early. There aren't a lot of paving projects that happen early in the season. It's usually moving dirt and utilities. So we try to take advantage of that opportunity and get these contractors when they're a little more hungry. So a lot of interest, good numbers. We did budget for this. This is, I think, our third or fourth year of trying to get an early season project like this done on one of our collector roads, utilizing some of those maintenance dollars through the gas tax and our MSA account. So with that, I would happily recommend that we award the project to North Valley in the amount of $273,611.84, and I'm happy to stand for any questions.
All right, thank you. And these are the ones, this is 105th Avenue from Hanson over to Exavis, kind of by Riverview Park, and then just south of Coon Rapids Boulevard down to Mississippi Boulevard on Hanson Boulevard. So, anybody have any questions?
Your Honor,
Councilmember Raybrower?
I make a motion to adopt resolution number 22-3 sub 9, awarding a contract to North Valley Incorporated in the amount of $273,611.84 for the 105th Avenue and Hanson Boulevard Mill and Overlay project, knowing that this low bidder has successfully completed many road projects for the city.
Second.
So we have a motion and we have a second. Just take from that motion whatever you need there, Mr. Brody. That's all of it? Okay, good. Any discussion, any further discussion on this?
One, Mr. Mayor?
Councilmember Hernandez?
When
Jr.?
does the project start? And
Yes, Councilmember Hernandez Jr., likely it is early May.
Okay.
We got to get the frost out of the ground and
Yes.
make sure we're prepped and ready, but as early as we can get to it, that's for sure.
and of course, then we'll notify the residents and all the actions taken care of. And
Yes, we usually send out a notification. However, there aren't a lot of residences on these roads,
Okay.
but we do send notifications just in advance.
okay, thank you.
When's the opening day? Is that typically April for Central or Cardinal Little League down there?
Be around May 1st, around first week of May.
Okay, you kind of hate to conflict with that because they use all that for parking.
Sure,
Yes.
yeah.
And I'll double check that.
You
Thank you
check
for
with
that
them.
information.
Yeah. All right, we have a motion and a second. Do we have any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and that motion carries. Item 7 is to consider resolution number 22-7 sub 9, awarding a contract for the 2022 well rehabilitation program. Don't you wish they were as hungry for this work as they were for mill and overlay projects? Go from 9 bidders to 1? Is that what happened here?
Mr.
Or
Mayor,
2, I guess.
Council.
No, 1.
One.
We had one bidder. There were actually 4 prime or general contractors on the job. We did follow up with them all. One of them was just not comfortable bidding on that large booster pump, and so they submitted as a sub under the other generals. The other 2 just said, we've got more work right now, we don't have the capacity to really get into this. I looked back, and historically, last year we had 2 bidders, the year before that we had 2 bidders, the year before that was 4, and then the year before that was 2. So it's usually the same 2 or 3 bidders every go around, so I was really surprised Minnesota Mechanical, and they said, well, if nobody else put in a bid and you want to rebid, we'll be happy to throw you a number, but for now, we're pretty busy. I'll let you know, we do have adequate funds. This is the project that we typically don't spend this amount because we take care of our wells, and so we're anticipating probably low 400,000 is what this will actually cost us by the time we get around. So we assume the worst everywhere. I've budgeted a little more since COVID and supply chain, so I've upped the budget in anticipation. I never anticipated only getting 1 bidder. But again, we have the funds to do it. That does include our consultants. This company has done it 3 out of the last 4 years. They do a good job. I'm not overly concerned about the price. We'll just try to do something from a scheduling standpoint to maybe get a little ahead of what else might be out there. Maybe other people are starting to copy us to get ahead early in the season, but we might try to look at the end of this year to get ahead for 2023. We're always up against that peak pumping time, so we want to try to get things done before July and August hit, and so we're hopeful we'll still get to that point. I am comfortable and confident in this contractor. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
I guess I feel better with the one bid knowing it's only about 10% over what we estimated anyway. You know, so it's not, it seems like it's within line then. All right, Council, any questions for Mr. Hammer? Councilmember Rehrower?
Your Honor. Again, thank you, Mr. Himmer, for sharing that this has had previous successful work done with the city. That's helpful to know. And with that, I will make a motion to adopt resolution number 22-9. I did it the last time too. 22-7 sub 9, awarding a contract to Municipal Builders Incorporated in the amount of $540,105 for the 2022 well rehabilitation project.
I second.
Motion by Rehrower, second by Hernandez Jr. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And that motion carries. See, we're up to item 8, and that is to consider a water utility rate increase. And this is the first time we've considered this since 2000 what? 14, 15, 16? 2016. Water utility rates were last increased in 2016. And we're looking at, Mr. Stemwell, you want me to read this, or do you want somebody? I bet that's, okay, go ahead.
Well, Mayor, Council, I just thought it'd be good to introduce Ashley Hanson. So Ashley is serving as our interim finance director and doing a terrific job of that. So tonight's her first council meeting that she's attended, but with that, I'll ask her to provide a quick overview of the water rate increase.
Excellent, welcome, thank you.
Thank you. Good evening. So before you tonight is the recommendation to increase water utility rates. As you said, we haven't increased them since 2016. Included in the 2022 adopted budget was the assumption of a 5% increase. And we've looked at both the operating and then just the future plans of how we continue to invest in infrastructure and feel that the rate increase is needed. So we're asking for that tonight, and I'm available for questions if you have that.
So we're one for one, every single meeting she's attended, she's wanted to raise the costs on things. Did you see that?
Mayor, Council, she was given her lot in life on this one, so you can blame me and Fran for that, I suppose, and Tim. That's awesome.
Council, any questions?
No, it's a 5% or less increase in the past, 6 years?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and I remember that night, we spent a lot of time battling, discussing that raise, that increase, and, I mean, I just think this is very reasonable, and especially after 6 years.
Mr. Mayor,
But it's gonna die without it. Okay. Councilmember Carlson.
make a motion, we adopt resolution 22-36, establishing water rates.
Second.
Motion by Carlson, second by Johnson. Is there any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And that motion carries. Thank you. Item 9 is kind of an informational thing. It's to receive the 2021 Community Development Annual Report. And is this already online, or will it be going online? Oh, there you are. Where'd Grant go?
Mr. Mayor, it will be posted on our website, on our community development webpage sometime this week. So I just have a few remarks that I wanted to make. I know in the past the council has expressed interest in having just kind of an informal presentation about this report. There's lots of great information in it. This is our 8th edition of the Community Development Report, so very proud of the work that we do in the Community Development Department, along with all of our other colleagues here at the city. The report really summarizes the major projects, programs, priorities that our staff has been working on. And as I outlined in the report, 2021 was a year of transition. There were challenges and opportunities. As everyone is aware, the pandemic did affect supply chain, which affected construction costs, construction schedules for businesses, for homeowners, for developers. But the interesting thing is we didn't really see a significant drop-off in activity. So there still seems to be a lot of energy and enthusiasm for doing projects in Coon Rapids, and I think that's very encouraging. Last year was also the 5th consecutive year that we had over $90 million worth of construction value. So since 2017, we've had $578 million of investment in our community. So a substantial number, $500 million, which is really, really encouraging. A number of notable projects, Anoka Ramsey Community College, their nursing and a business program expansion was a project that was underway last year. Schneiderman's Furniture, going into the old Sears space up at Riverdale, along with JCPenney's. We still do not have the yet unnamed grocery tenant. I checked that website today, and it's still not public, but we do anticipate that will be occupying that space at some point this year. Other retail development, of course, the famous Dave's Quick Queue, Bank of America branch, Banfield Pet Hospital, Walzer Hyundai. Those are just a few of the larger construction projects that we witnessed in 2021. Of course, the city continues to work with Centra Homes at Port Riverwalk. That development continues to progress along very nicely. Riverdale Station, the TOD apartments, Phase 3 was approved last year, and that project has started. So if you've driven past there, you'll see the building is coming up out of the ground. There's lots of other really interesting building permit inspection data. So if you're a data geek and you're interested in looking at that, we've got a nice summary of what went on from a building permit perspective. There's other, obviously, programs and services that we do, property maintenance, code enforcement. We provided some updates on what we're doing there. We continue to offer, or use, I should say, our courtesy letter program, really as kind of a precursor to citations. And surprisingly, it's produced really great results. So we're getting compliance without having to issue those citations. We still have that tool, but this seems to be an effective approach, and so some encouraging trends there as well. Of course, our housing programs are very popular. Our Homes for Generation program, our Front Door program. Deadline is today for those who are interested in applying, so we have information on that. And then, of course, a new initiative that the council is aware of, we're embarking on sustainability. We talked about 2 topics this evening, but last year we worked on updating our city code to accommodate solar energy uses. Within our community, we also were designated a Sol Smart Silver Level designation, so that's related to solar readiness, solar regulation, which of course I just talked about, and then promotion of alternative energy. We're also a Step 3 Minnesota Green Steps program, so that's a very exciting accomplishment, and there are other things that we're going to be working on as well. Also included in the report is a summary from the Planning Commission and the Board of Adjustment and Appeals. We didn't include sustainability this year. That was an oversight on our part, but want to acknowledge our staff provides liaison services to those commissions, and I just want to also recognize the commissions as well. Those are the citizen volunteers that donate their time to the city, show up at meetings, do their homework, read packets, ask questions, and really help advise the council on important policy topics. And we couldn't do the work that we do here in the city without their support. And then lastly, I also wanted to mention the staff. Of course, they're the engine that makes it all work. It's such a joy to work with really dedicated staff. Many of them are public-facing, but some of them are behind the scenes, and they all do great work to support the community. So I'm very proud of what they do and very happy to report on the accomplishments of last year. So that's the formal report. I also wanted to mention just real briefly the home show coming up on March 12th from 8 to 2 at the Andover YMCA. So that was on hiatus for 2 years, so we're excited to have that back. It's a great community event. We certainly would encourage our residents, if they're curious, to take advantage of that opportunity. So with that, I will conclude my remarks and answer any questions you may have.
I really encourage folks to take a moment to read through it. It's very interesting. And one of the things I like to see in there was how illustrative it is in there to look at the building permits. One good hailstorm really turns around a town. I mean, 2017, man, those building permits just spiked in 2018. So it led serious insurance investment in our town.
Absolutely.
But,
The irony is we've had more than one good hailstorm.
Well,
We've had a few.
that was a big one, though.
It was.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was fascinating, and it's nice to see all of the businesses coming in. Yeah, it's very well done. It's very nice.
Thank you. Thank you as well. And thank you to our communications staff for putting the polish on it. It's a very nice document.
That's great.
So, thank you.
All right, thank you. And then we still need to officially accept it through a motion? Is that what we need to do then? Or we just accept it?
Sure, Mayor and Council, if you just move to accept the report, there's nothing more official than that you would need to do.
I'll move to accept the report.
Second?
Motion by Johnson, second by Carlson to accept the report. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that is accepted, and that will be on the website for folks to review. We are up to open mic public comment, and I'm going to assume we don't have anybody here for open mic? Nobody online?
Nobody's requested. Yep, there's one attendee, but
All right, very good. I don't have any reports on previous open mics, and we are to other business. Just before we get into too many other things, Mr. Himmer, there was a social media post today talking about the clogged storm. Is there a clogged storm drain near you? And the city is on the way. The city has all street crews out working to clean storm drains and catch basins this week, and there are approximately 6,500 drains throughout the city. But we've got crews out cleaning those, huh? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, there's lots of calls that have come in regarding just localized flooding, and as opposed to trying to chase them all over town, we just said, let's start going through our plow routes, let's go about it in an organized fashion. So unless there's significant concerns for flooding and property damage or safety considerations, we're just gonna work our way through the town. We ask residents if they're aware of them, if they can get out and break a little of that free, like clearing their fire hydrants in the wintertime. But 'tis the season for this, and it will continue probably for the next month or so.
All right. Very good. What other business do we have?
Mayor and Council, I've just got a couple of things. One is that we won't have our regularly scheduled city council meeting in 2 weeks. It'll actually be 3 weeks from today on March 22nd. It's a little bit of an anomaly, but with some things going on in the third week, we decided to move that meeting back to the fourth week. So for the folks at home that keep track of that sort of thing, tune in on the 22nd. And then the last one is sort of in Tim's world as well, but there'll be a lot of highway construction on Highway 10 starting this summer, and very soon, actually, related to the Anoka project, which will be very disruptive for about 2 years. So I encourage folks to pay attention to that, because if you use Highway 10 west of Coon Rapids, you might want to find alternate routes, or at least be very patient during that time period. If you'd like to learn more, we have information posted on our city website. There's actually an open house coming up on March 9th at Greenhaven Golf Course from 5:30 to 7:30 for folks to attend if they want to hear directly from the partners that are initiating that project, to include removing the stoplights at Thurston and Fair Oak, putting in interchanges, roundabouts, new Rum River Bridge. It really includes just about everything over there. So there's a lot of information that's available, but just trying to give folks a heads up about that as often as we can, because it'll affect Coon Rapids residents as much or more than most in Anoka County.
Truly, think about how bad Highway 10 gets, and now imagine it one lane.
Yes.
It's, you are not going to be able to go anywhere there. I think if you have a cabin out there, you should probably just consider VRBO for the
Yeah,
summer.
right.
You know, go back in 2
Or a
years,
helicopter.
see what's left. All right. Any other business to come before council this evening?
Mr. Hammer?
Mr. Himmer?
Mr. Mayor, Council, I just wanted to inform you, we have opened up recently virtual open house number 4 on the 610 East River Road interchange. If you recall, we're kind of down to, we've selected that preferred alternative. We're moving forward with that design. We're just trying to get the word out in different means. And so now through the end of March, we've updated the story map website. There is some handouts, social media. We'll be sending it to our listserv distribution, trying to get it out to churches and other locations, just letting people know that there is update since the last time we met. There is a preferred alternative. What are the pros and cons of that? What are the estimated costs? There's a new interactive map that allows you to take a little pin and put it somewhere on that map and say, hey, while you're out here, consider this as well, or wouldn't it be better? So while we're moving from kind of that preliminary design, moving into the environmental stage of that preferred alternative, there is still some time for input. And so now through the end of March, you can go on, utilize that interactive map, take advantage of the brief survey that's on there, and stay connected to the project.
Excellent, excellent. So Chief Wise, I noticed on social media, and this actually, it's kind of a follow-up, a conversation that you and I had yesterday regarding gunshots, gunfire. Social media, every time you go on there, I just heard a gunshot, I just heard a shotgun. It's like, oh, come on. You know, it's fireworks, it's something. And you mentioned yesterday, I think, we deal with like, what, 9, or how many gunfire a year, do you recall?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, in 2021, we had 9 gunfire incidents in the city of Coon Rapids, of all reasons, some intentional, some accidental, but in comparison, and I think that's kind of the most important part here, is Brooklyn Park in 2021 had almost 200 gunfire incidents, so we're blessed here in Coon Rapids.
So when somebody hears a loud report, they should probably just assume it's fireworks?
That's what I assume until proven otherwise, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It was just yesterday again, there was another, you know,
Yeah.
I'm sure it was a shotgun. And the guy goes, no, I'm sure it was fireworks. But thank you, Chief. Another reason I like living here. All right. Any other business to come before council?
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Motion by Johnson, second by Carlson to adjourn. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. We're adjourned.